Today's notes are for our last learning target in Unit 2. And this learning target is about functions in context. So your note page, you want to fold in half, put a title on the front, and then in your table of contents, this is learning target 5, I can interpret functions in context, and it's going into your notes on page 23. So make sure your table of contents is updated for this unit, because this is the last set of notes. So there's nothing really new about these notes, so they're going to be pretty fast. The difference here is that instead of just talking about random x and y values, our x and y values will actually have a meaning. They'll have a context. So in our first example, we're looking at a graph. And this is a graph that shows a snail's speed as a function of time. It tells us that our y values are all talking about the speed in centimeters per minute, and our x values are talking about time in seconds. So when I start to evaluate, nothing about this process is going to be different than it was before. I am evaluating f of 7. Which means my x value is 7, and I'm trying to find out what the y value is. So on my graph, I have an x value of 7 right here. I follow that up to my point on the graph. That point is right here. When my x value is 7, my y value is 10. And before, that's where we would leave it. We would maybe write our answer as 7, 10 as an ordered pair. But now we have a meaning to go with this graph. So we need to describe our answer with a sentence. So my x value being 7 means this is 7 seconds. My y value being 10 means that the snail's speed was 10 centimeters per minute. So that's the sentence that I'm going to write. At 7 seconds, the snail's speed was 10 centimeters per second. I'm going to skip the next one. I'll have you do that one on your own. And then we'll move down to the one below it. This one gives you the meaning, and it wants you to write the function notation. So we're going to be writing f of some number is equal to some other number. So when I read the sentence, after 12 seconds, the snail was traveling 8 centimeters per minute. Oh, I said second on all of these. It's traveling centimeters per minute, sorry. Traveling 8 centimeters per minute. I know that my time, my seconds, are talking about my x values. So if they're saying he's traveling 12 seconds, 12 is my x value. His speed is the y value. So if he's traveling 8 centimeters per minute, that 8 is the y value. So this f of 12 equals 8 means that at 12 seconds he was traveling 8 centimeters per minute. And we can verify that on the graph. When our x value is 12, if I follow that up, here's my point. At that point, my y value is 8. We can also do this when looking at a table. Oh, so the rest of these? Assignment. We can also do this when we're looking at a table. So if I need to evaluate f of 3 in this table that's talking about a charge for delivery, where x is the miles traveled and y, or c of x, is our delivery charge. This says 3 is my x value. So 3 is the number of miles traveled. So at 3 miles traveled, the charge is $28. So f of 3 equals 28, and at 3 miles traveled, the delivery charge is $28. We'll skip the next one, and the one right underneath it is asking you to go from the meaning to the function notation. So I know I'm going to have f of something is equal to something else. I need to fill in my x value and my y value. The delivery charge for 5 miles is $42. Well, miles is talking about my x values, so that would go in parentheses. $42 is talking about the charge, that's a y value. So when you travel 5 miles, you are charged $42. These 3 are also part of your practice. I want you to try these 3 on your own and check in with me once you've got your practice done.